An ambitious vision turned to reality when the National Sikh Heritage Centre and Holocaust Museum opened in Derby around a decade ago. Packed with artifacts, artillery and smaller weapons, visitors experienced the rich and complex heritage of Sikhs, detailed through a story of courage and sacrifice in the face of adversity and tragedy. The building also includes iconic objects synonymous with Sikhs, and we spoke to Head of Operations, Gurpal Singh, to find out about what sparked the opening of the museum.
Everyone's been thinking to establish something as such for many, many years, but they just could not put it into practice. And then, plus, they could not get the artillery that they had their eyes on, especially the heavy artillery that you have seen belonging to the Sikh kingdom. All these cannons, they could not actually get their hands onto that. So they've been trying to like get one item out at a time. This is from the 1980s. But unfortunately, it just did not happen. There was no sureties or securities they could provide enough from that time onwards. And then all of a sudden in 2010, I believe, 2009, they received a call to say, we are ready for you to host the heavy artillery if you have the space. And then they started looking around. The original team was, as I said, the Harbhajan Singh, the founders, one of the founders of the museum, and Gurmel Singh ji. They started going around asking so many places for only 10 square feet they were asking for. But unfortunately, people didn't understand what they were trying to achieve, and they could not get the required space, because what they were thinking before was to bring one cannon and then showcase that to the general public about the kingdom, and then take that away and then bring another. And then by, well, lucky for us that they came to this place here, and then they asked for 10 square feet. And our elders here, they said, actually, it's not about 10 square feet. Tell us how many hundreds of square feet you want. And then they showed them these halls and said, we are happy to host, you know, not just one cannon, but if we can get more, then we will host the museum, a proper museum here. So this is where the idea came from. And it was because there was nothing to showcase to our kids or even to the general public about the kingdom. You know, yes, we have the gurdwaras and we have everything, but when people from outside the communities come to the Gurdwara Sahibs, they don't understand what the religion is about. They don't understand the culture. They don't understand anything else. You know, they don't understand the Sardari. So by having the hard artifacts, what you have seen here, and that, you know, you could demonstrate the Sardari behind this, you can demonstrate the kingdom and how big that kingdom was, you know. And nowhere our kids would have learned that our kingdom was 350,000 square kilometers all the way up to Kabul, Kandahar, Afghanistan. You know, as a big kingdom. So the inspiration came from for us to let others know of the kingdom at the same time, so they can understand the religion as well. So so in brief, that is what I would say.
And do you still think there is a lot of work to do to actually inform people further about the history relating to Sikhs, particularly some of those tragic events in history?
Absolutely, absolutely. There are some things which has been totally, like, you know, blackened out from the history, and others telling you, advising you to blacken out the 1984 stuff, you know, oh no, what happened there. But in the museum here, we explain what happened through that, you know, a factual information we give from here. That is part of our history. We have to explain to others. We shouldn't be having to explain our contribution into the First and Second World War, but unfortunately we still have to do that to this day. You know, the contributions we have made to the Great Britain, the reasons why we are here, you know, we have to explain that there were more than 83,000 turban-wearing Sikhs actually fought and died by end of the Second World War. You know, the percentage of the British Indian Army at that time, and it was just phenomenal. By the end of Second World War, there were more than 2.5 million Indians in the in the British Armed Forces by that time. So the contribution by the Sikhs was so much. So it meant that it just did not get demonstrated properly. The history books at school, which should have been teaching about the Commonwealth's contribution, which we have out here, the exhibition about the Commonwealth, not just the Sikhs. We explain all these things here, you know, by percentage and how much we have contributed into the society of Britain that we know of today.
And amid some of the divisions that we are seeing in today's society, how concerned are you over religious and ethnic intolerance?
It is concerning for all, I would say, especially not so much in the Western countries, I must say, but it's very unfortunate that in our countries that you know, our origins linked from, for example, India, the religious intolerance there is quite high. Barack Obama, when he visited India, he picked up and he actually especially mentioned about the religious intolerance and the ways that things were going for the minorities. And to this day, for example, the RSS and so many other extreme politically motivated organizations are doing, and how they're forcibly converting people to their chosen religion, because you know, it is a big concern, as I said, not so much for us, but for us to tell the world that these things are happening. Minorities are being oppressed to this day, but in different ways in different countries. India is a prime example.